These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
I have no problem saying that this is the best duo in the NBA right now. I think that's what would you say? I mean, we don't have to like go too deep into it, but let's have that discussion at the very least, right? Like, do you think this is the best duo in the league?
That's what the numbers say. The graphic during the game yesterday said they're the best scoring duo in history. You got to win first before you start getting titles like that. But right now, I mean, there's not a lot of guys you would take over them. Yeah, sure, they just got pieced by a couple of duos. We can sweep that under the rug. Clay and Steph gave him the business, then Paul George and Kawhi gave him the business, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, yeah, let's go through it, right? Like we don't have to go ridiculously in depth, but we can go through the teams that have a shot at it, and we can talk.
They're probably the best. We can go, and I'll tell you that they're better than Giannis and Middleton or whoever else you want to throw out there.
Okay, my first one was actually going to be Giannis and Jrue because I think Jrue deserves that credit this season. But you take the Jays over that?
Oh yeah, I mean it's just tough. Giannis is so much better than just about everyone in the league. Like he's just a step above everybody. But Tatum's playing the best basketball of his career. He's an MVP candidate, and Brown isn't far behind. He was in the top 10 for the MVP vote. MVP vote last time the NBA posted it as well. So. Mm-hmm. Those guys are both worthy of being above Jrue Holiday. And the gap between Tatum and Giannis is not as big as the one I think between Brown and Holiday.
I see what you're saying. I'm trying to find a graphic because I saw a graphic, about this on Twitter, and I want to pull it up and we can do it that way because it broke them down. But yeah, okay, here I got it. Let me just pull it up on the screen here. Let's see. All right, so. We're just going to dive into the conversation. The best duo in the NBA, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, obviously deserve to be on the, in consideration at the very least. And so let me make sure the image is fully viewable. All right. This is your plug to watch on YouTube instead of the audio platform because we're going to share the screen right now. All right. This is not in any order, by the way, I don't think, or maybe it's their list of in order, but these are arguably the 10 best duos in the NBA. I'll read them off now. Embiid and Harden, Tatum and Brown, Davis and LeBron, Giannis and Jrue Holiday, Kawhi and Paul George, KD and Kyrie, Mitchell and Garland, Morant and Bane, Booker and Bridges, Curry and Wiggins. You can interchange Bridges for Chris Paul if you'd like, but I think it's because he's been hurt this season, so they threw in Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges. But what are we doing here? We don't necessarily have to go through and place them in order. I was thinking of this the other day, but I'm taking Tatum and Brown over Embiid and Harden.
Yeah.
I'm sure you agree. You can make an argument, I guess, for Davis and LeBron carried by Davis, but this season it's not particularly close in my opinion. I think, Tatum and Brown, they're winning.
I mean, they just beat him yesterday. Don't worry about
it. Exactly. I think Giannis and Holiday.
Once we get further down this list, but we can move.
I think Giannis and Holiday deserve their respect. Obviously, Giannis carries a big part of the load there, but Holiday's been having a great season. They're probably top 5 for me, I think, in the league, but I'd still probably take Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Kawhi and Paul George deserve the credit too. Obviously, they beat the Celtics, so it's easy to give them that credit. But
I will say
winning
this
as consistently, and they're not playing as consistently. That's the biggest thing for me. They're not playing.
I will say this. I think Giannis is the only player on this page that I think Tatum isn't better than right now. I don't even know if that's outrageous to say.
Okay.
I really
a couple guys that
like the way Tatum's been playing this year.
I know what you're saying.
Curry, maybe I would put above Tatum.
I think Curry and Durant are the only two I could maybe give you.
Durant's close. Durant's close.
Mm-hmm. I know
him
exactly.
And Tatum might be at the same level right now.
I mean, what outlet was it? I think The Ringer just released their basketball, top 100 list.
I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Brown was 20th. He's not 20th.
I mean, Tatum was 6th, which is pretty fair ranking for him, I think. Anyways, we can talk about that too after. But KD and Kyrie, I'd take Tatum and Brown, but that one's, I mean, you can say it's close. They've been winning lately, so you got to give them their respect there. I assume you're taking the Celtics duo.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I blanked for a second.
You're good. Mitchell and Garland, I'm taking Tatum and Brown. Same thing with John Morant and Desmond Bane. I'm taking Jaylen and Jayson. Booker and Bridges, yep. Curry and Wiggins, maybe, but no. Are there any duos they missed on here? I don't think so.
No, because Luka
but-
doesn't play with anybody.
Exactly. Luka or Jayson and
Yeah.
Jaylen? That's the question. Would you rather both or just Luka?
Both.
Yeah, man. I mean,
They're just playing so much better than just
Yeah.
about everybody. They lost to that Warriors team and the Clippers on Monday, but man, just about everybody else has been the fly on the windshield. It just hasn't gone well for them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what other arguments you could have. Like I said, I think you could argue for Giannis. I think you could argue for KD and Kyrie, both LA teams. Maybe if they play consistently, you can get an argument in there. But right now, Jayson and Jaylen are playing like that best duo.
Let's call a spade a spade. The Lakers are 12th in the West, like Chuck said yesterday. Like stop throwing them in every conversation.
I'm saying purely as a duo. Their team stinks.
There
purely
is
as
a winning aspect to me saying you're good. There is.
course.
There always will be.
Just to play devil's advocate for the sake of it. I mean, the record is not all Tatum and Brown. Yes, they're playing at all NBA, MVP phenomenal.
It's very
level.
true.
But if you put LeBron and AD in Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown shoes, you're going to tell me they're not a top 2 team in the East still? I think they would be.
I think they'd be worse.
Jayson and Jaylen. I think they'd be worse.
I truly think
too.
they'd be worse, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
I agree, but
LeBron requires so much of the ball and to be involved in everything. It would take away from the way the Celtics have played this season to where the ball is just zipping around the court. I don't think you can really put LeBron on a team like that and have it work because he needs to be in control, which is fine.
I think he would work with the Celtics shooters. I mean, you put those shooters.
He would work with the shooters.
My point is not to argue
he wouldn't
that
work as much as a cog in the machine.
I understand what you're saying. My point is not to say that they'd be better with those two than Jayson and Jaylen. My point is, if you look at it purely from a duo's perspective, you can't really you can definitely take the record into account, but considering the Celtics rest of the roster versus the Lakers rest of the roster, one would be a play-in team, one would be, having Victor Wembanyama on the roster.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got one of those guys in the duo that blew up the roster. So put that in your
hey, you're right.
Pipe and smoke it. There you go.
You're right. You're right.